Hello everybody, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. Welcome back to another project for Kindred Stamps. Today I'm showcasing this amazing new stamp set from the December release called Crazy About You. The images are absolutely adorable, and there are 3 sentiments in this stamp set. Our friendship is no joke, ha ha, happy birthday, which is the one I'm going to be using today, and I'm crazy about you. So this little guy here has gone a little mad and has become quite the jokester. So I'm going to be coloring him up in some pretty bright colors. I'm using a combination of my Spectrum Noir and my Copic markers to get the colors that I wanted. He has his little female sidekick here with him who is equally unhinged and is very fun, and we're going to use a lot of colors to brighten her up and give her a fun look. So for the jacket, you can see here I wanted like a royal dark velvety purple color, so I used a couple purples, but I also used a gray marker as well just to give me that darker shading. For the pants, I'm going to be using 2 color blending here to give him some black pants. So I'm using the C5 and the C7. Once I get that finished up, I will go over and work on the black pieces for our little female character here. So she's going to have black and white shoes, she's going to have a black belt, and here's where I start coloring her little shorts, and I make a mistake and color her stomach piece there, but I will fix that. So one side of her shorts are going to be a royal blue, the other side a red. Now I'm coming back over and I'm doing the red around our little jokester's mouth here. I'm going to use a 3 color blend. I want it to be really messy looking, and then I am going to bring in the colorless blender around his mouth, and this is probably the first time in my life where I have actually wanted reds to bleed. So for this look, you definitely want to get that blender pen going and get that bleeding so it blends out around his mouth. I'm also doing that technique for the tip of her hair on the left side, so just using that blender marker. I am going to come in and give her some kind of platinum blonde hair. I knocked over all my pen caps here, but I'm just going to finish up with the blending and then I'll move on to another color. So for the other side of her pigtails, we're going to do that in a lighter blue color. I decided to use 3 colors and bring it up a little bit higher on the top of her head, so I just had to make sure the red was equal on that left side, so I brought that back in a little bit more and then used the colorless blender on both sides. For the hair, I wanted to use almost like an emerald jade green closest to his ears, and then a lighter bright lime green in the center. You're going to see here I'm going to actually go over this a couple times till I get the color that I wanted, and I keep bringing the darker up a bit higher to the middle of his hairline. Darkening up those sides on the second go around here, and then here's where you see I really start to darken it up and only leave a really bright lime green highlight in the center here. So here's where I'm going to do her hair. I'm doing this in a 2 color blend as well. I wanted it to be really soft, and I wanted to make sure that it would blend into the colors of her pigtails. Plus I really just wanted the colors in this card to stand out. So I'm using LY1 in my Spectrum Noir markers, which is actually darker than the LY2. I try to always leave the darkest colors at the top and then work my way down when I leave the caps out for you to the lightest color. So now we're going to work on the skin tone. His face is very white, so we're just going to add some C3 and C1 and blend that out. And you can see it gives it some great shading. I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken up his eyes to give him that look like he's gone a little bit mad. And her shirt is mostly white along with her little running shoes, so we're going to add the same markers for the white on her clothing, so the C3 and the C1. Once I get that done, I'll work on the skin coloring. Now I wanted this to be extremely pale, so at first I used the E000 and blended that out with the colorless blender. I felt like that was just a little bit too light, so I am going to bring in, I believe it's the E00, I think, just to add a little bit more shading, and that just gives a little bit more of definition, but still leaving it really, really pale, which was the look that I was going for. So to finish off these little characters, once I get the skin color done here, I do go back and add some C1 to his teeth and blend that out. I'm giving her some rosy cheeks, and I'm going to give her matching eyeshadow that's kind of all over the place on her face that match the sides of her pigtails. I'm going to give her some red lips. Here's where I do his teeth. I'm going to go back and do the pigtail holders. And here's where I'm kind of fixing up where I colored her skin. So I just ended up having to use a white gel marker to fix that, and then I went over with the skin tone colors. Colored up his little thing in his hand, his cane I guess, with the C5 I believe, and now I'm just bringing in my black gel pen for a lot of detail here. I wanted to give her some writing on her shirt. So I didn't actually write out the words, I just kind of scribbled some lines to give the effect of writing. Did their eyes and some other details, and now I'm going to move on to the card. So I was trying to figure out how I wanted to design this card, and I thought it would really be fun to do an outdoor look with graffiti, so having them in front of a wall that has been graffitied. So this is my favorite brick stencil die. This is an MFT, or not a die, stencil. This is an MFT stencil called English Brick Wall. So you saw there I used hickory smoke. Now I'm bringing in a little bit of black soot just to darken that up a little bit. And then I'm going to go back and blend that in with the hickory smoke. I did want to leave the inside quite light. So here's where I'm going to come in. I'm going to use my Memento marker, and I'm just going to freehand this. I don't consider myself much of an artist, and I really was just going for a messy graffiti look here. No rhyme or reason besides just trying to space them out so that you would be able to see different portions of the repeated word behind the characters. So I'm kind of mimicking the sentiment that I'm going to be using, which, as I said, was ha ha happy birthday. And so the graffiti that I'm using is the ha ha, which goes along perfectly with our little jokester character. And so I'm just going to add that in a few spots around the card until I feel like they are well spaced out, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to color these using the colors that I've used to color up the little images. And you can see here that I'm using different portions of the word throughout my scene here. So some of them have the ha-ha twice, some of them have it once. And then you can see to the left-hand side, I'm coloring it now, just the end of the A here. So I'm using that kind of jade green color and then the bright blue that I used for her hair. I'm going to do a 2-color blend here. So I'll come back in now with a lighter blue just to finish this up. For the final color, I'm going to use the purple. So I just thought that seeing those were fairly dominant colors on the card, that it would be fun to have the graffiti matching those particular colors. So this is the first time I've kind of done something like this. I really love how it turned out, and I thought it was the perfect background scene for these two little characters. This is a new stamp set for the December release. I'm excited to see what the other design team members have come up with for this stamp. There's a number of amazing new stamp sets in this release, so don't forget to go check out Kindred Stamps. I have all the links down in the description box below for you. So to finish off the card here, I wanted to have them standing on what looked like a sidewalk, but I didn't want to have anything that was too bulky, or yeah, bulky is a good word. I just wanted something to represent it, so I just used this banner die here. This is also an MFT die, just to make it look like they're standing on the sidewalk. I did pop both of them up on some 3M foam adhesive here so they stand out up against the brick wall. And I'm just going to glue this onto my card base, which is a standard A2 size card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You did see me there. I did get a little bit of Distress Oxide ink on the card, so I simply used my Staedtler white eraser to get rid of that. And now I'm just going to stamp the sentiment on the inside of the card. So no sentiment on the outside. I thought there was enough going on that it didn't really need it. And then we have our birthday sentiment on the inside. So just to finish up, I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir glitter brush marker here to add a little bit of shimmer to her pigtails, and then the graffiti. I'm not sure if any spray paint cans actually have glitter in them, but we'll just go with it. And then I just gave her a gold sparkly belt buckle, and that's the card for today. So I hope you've all enjoyed creating this card with me today. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.